What if humanity's survival depended on a single, desperate chance to outwit an alien empire that has wiped out countless civilizations without hesitation? This isn't just another fight for survival. This is humanity's last stand, a war of wits and resilience where every move could be the difference between extinction and hope. As Earth burns beneath the boots of invaders, humanity's greatest minds have been forced into hiding. With resources depleted and allies nowhere to be found, our species must turn to its most unexpected weapon, itself. The core of this story? Revenge against an enemy who shows no mercy, and a fight that will push the boundaries of human determination. In this video, you will witness the awakening of humanity's last hope, an unlikely hero who holds the key to turning the tide. As old grudges ignite, and alliances fracture under the weight of impossible choices, the struggle takes on a personal edge. Will they be able to reclaim what was stolen from them, or will they become another forgotten casualty in an eternal war of survival? With a final chance to strike, the stakes are higher than ever. The enemy is relentless, the clock is ticking, and every decision could cost them everything. Stay with us, and you'll see the moments that will change the fate of Earth forever. Will humanity rise, or fall into the shadow of an empire that knows no defeat? The battle has only just begun. The stars above have dimmed in the wake of humanity's great fall. Where once the vast expanse of space glittered with the promise of exploration, it now serves as a darkened backdrop to the ruins of a world long abandoned by hope. Earth lies in ruin, its once thriving cities reduced to husks of metal and stone, the result of relentless invasions by a merciless alien empire. The atmosphere, once clear and alive with the breath of nature, now churns with ash and smoke, a sickly orange glow casting an eerie pall over the dying world. The ground trembles beneath the heavy thud of colossal war machines, their armored feet carving into the planet's scarred surface. Above, fleets of alien ships blot out the sun, their sleek, metallic forms cutting through the sky with a sinister grace. The air is thick with the hum of advanced weaponry, the crackle of energy shields, and the distant echo of shattered buildings. Everywhere, the stench of burning ruins fills the air, mingling with the acrid scent of ionized metal and the sharp, biting wind that howls across the desolate landscape. This is a world at war, a world where survival has become a luxury, and every moment is a fleeting struggle for existence. The planet's last defenders have retreated into hidden fortresses beneath the Earth, their efforts to strike back against the invaders largely futile. The once glorious cities now stand in silence, their streets abandoned, save for the occasional flash of a lone survivor scrambling for shelter. The war between the alien invaders and humanity has raged for years, but it is no longer just about territory or victory. It's a war for dignity, for a chance to reclaim a future that was stolen. The invaders, an empire of cold, calculating conquerors, have no interest in mercy, only in complete subjugation. To them, humanity is a minor inconvenience, a fleeting resistance that will soon be wiped from existence. Yet, despite the overwhelming odds, a spark remains. Deep beneath the surface, humanity's last hope simmers in the form of those who refuse to surrender, those who continue to fight in the shadows, plotting the impossible. There are whispers of a secret weapon, of a force capable of shifting the balance, but such rumors are as fragile as the world they hope to save. The tone of this broken world is tense, its future uncertain. Each passing moment feels like an eternity, every silence a reminder of the terrible price paid for resistance. Yet, amid the wreckage, there's a strange energy, a faint pulse of defiance that refuses to die, even in the face of the most crushing despair. The story of humanity's last stand has begun, and though the enemy looms large, the struggle for survival continues in the darkened corners of a dying world. The silence is shattered by the deafening roar of a distant explosion. Dust and debris cascade from the shattered skyline, blocking out the faint light that struggles to break through the ash-laden sky. Beneath the ruins, in the shadow of a once proud city, a small group of survivors huddles in a makeshift bunker. Their eyes dart nervously toward the crackling communication device on the table, its screen flashing with distorted, broken signals. Outside, the invaders' war machines move closer, their heavy footsteps shaking the earth, drawing nearer to the last remnants of humanity's resistance. The air is thick with fear and uncertainty. There is no longer any hope of victory in the traditional sense, no great rallying cry or glorious battle to be won. The enemy has made it clear, Earth is theirs for the taking. And yet, in this small, forgotten corner of the world, a flicker of defiance remains. But for how much longer? As the survivors scan the horizon, their leader, whose face is weary and lined with years of loss, stares at the broken screen. The message they've received is cryptic, just a hint of something bigger, a possible way to turn the tide. But the road to it is fraught with dangers. No one knows where the next strike will come from, or if they'll even make it out alive. The enemy's superior technology has made any attempt at offense a death sentence, and even the most carefully laid plans have been obliterated by their overwhelming firepower. The tension rises, not only because of the external threat, but because of the internal struggles brewing within the survivors themselves. Trust is in short supply, alliance is fragile. Some question whether the fight is worth it, wondering if the cost of resistance has outlived its purpose. Others cling to the idea that redemption, or even just survival, is still possible if they can discover whatever secret lies beyond the walls of their crumbling sanctuary. What is at stake? The very survival of humanity, its last hope to reclaim the world they lost. But what could be lost if they fail? A future of endless subjugation, of living in the shadow of an empire that knows no mercy, with no hope of ever reclaiming their home. The clock is ticking, and every decision, every move, could mean the difference between life and death. The conflict has begun, but the true battle is only just taking shape. The ground shakes violently as a low, rumbling hum fills the air. The survivors brace themselves, their breaths shallow, hearts pounding in their chests. The source of the tremors is clear, the enemy's latest assault is underway, a coordinated strike designed to eradicate the last pockets of resistance. Above, the sound of alien engines reverberates through the cracked walls of the bunker, followed by the unmistakable, terrifying boom of their weapons making contact with the earth. Another city falls. But this time, something is different. In the chaos, a sudden, garbled transmission breaks through the static of the communication device. The voice, distorted and heavy with static, is barely audible, but the words hit with devastating clarity, the weapon is real. They know. It's time. A cold shiver runs through the group. The weapon. A whispered rumor, a faint hope, something that could turn the tide, but they had dismissed it as fantasy, a tale to keep morale from collapsing. But now, it's a reality. And the alien forces, who have swept through the planet's defenses without breaking a sweat, are aware of its existence. The transmission ends abruptly, the screen flickering and then going black, leaving only the haunting echo of the final, cryptic message. The survivors exchange anxious glances, fear mingling with uncertainty. The enemy's next move is now clear, they're coming for the weapon, and nothing will stop them from obtaining it. The clock has started ticking, and the stakes have never been higher. In the confusion, the leader of the survivors makes a decision that seals their fate. We leave, they say, voice firm but strained. Now. If the weapon is real, we're the only ones who can find it before they do. The group knows the path ahead is fraught with peril. They're not prepared for another journey, their resources already stretched thin, their numbers dwindling. Every step into the unknown could be their last. Yet the alternative, waiting to be obliterated, seems worse. With grim resolve, they prepare to move. The urgency is palpable. The alien forces are closing in, and every moment wasted is a moment the weapon slips further from their grasp. But can they truly rely on this last hope, or will the weapon be another cruel illusion, another mistake that costs them everything? The fight for survival is about to take a new turn, and there's no turning back. The survivors move through the crumbling remains of a once thriving city, now a graveyard of concrete and steel. The air is thick with the smell of smoke and the distant rumble of alien artillery. Every step feels like a calculated risk, and the group is acutely aware of the danger closing in. With each passing moment, the weight of their decision becomes heavier. The path they've chosen is not only fraught with the certainty of danger but with the emotional toll of knowing that their survival is an unlikely prospect. As they venture deeper into the wreckage, the first sign of alien presence appears, a sleek, metallic drone, hovering silently above, scanning the area with its cold, unblinking eyes. The survivors freeze, hearts pounding in their chests. Their breathing slows as they duck into the shadows, praying they haven't been spotted. The drone hovers for what feels like an eternity before it slowly drifts away, its mission complete, searching for those who remain in hiding. But its presence is a chilling reminder that they are not safe. Not even for a moment. The journey grows more perilous with each passing mile. The group has to move carefully, avoiding main roads and sticking to the ruins, all while dealing with dwindling supplies and the constant exhaustion that comes from living on the edge of survival. The physical toll is starting to show, hunger gnaws at their bodies, and sleep deprivation begins to cloud their judgment. Some begin to question the mission itself. Is it worth the risk to follow a whisper of hope, especially when every step is a reminder of how little they have left? And it's not just the physical exhaustion. The emotional strain is even harder to endure. Tensions rise within the group as frustration boils over. Some argue about the direction they should take, others question the leadership, and a few are growing desperate, contemplating surrender. Their sense of unity, once unshakable, is beginning to crack. The shared goal of survival is becoming fractured by doubt and fear. The leader's voice, once firm, now trembles at times, unsure of the path ahead. Every choice is weighed with the potential for disaster, and every move could expose them to death. But the greatest obstacle remains the knowledge that the enemy is drawing closer, and the weapon they seek is still a distant, uncertain hope. The journey has become not just a fight for survival, but a test of their resolve. The deeper they go, the more they lose faith, trust, and the hope that they might still have a future. The stakes are higher than ever, and the consequences of failure loom larger with each passing hour. The survivors stumble upon what remains of a hidden military base, its once imposing walls now crumbling and overgrown with vines. It's a place that shouldn't exist, a place that had been erased from history, or so they thought. Their journey has led them here, but what they find inside will forever change their understanding of the war, the enemy, and their very future. As they cautiously move through the decaying halls, a strange hum begins to pulse in the air, reverberating through the walls. It's faint at first, almost imperceptible, but it grows louder, more insistent. The group follows the sound, their hearts racing, until they reach a massive door, sealed tight by a series of security codes that no one remembers. The leader, with shaking hands, enters the forgotten access code. The door hisses open, revealing a chamber unlike anything they've seen before. Inside, standing amidst rows of archaic technology and weaponry, is the weapon, an ancient artifact, hidden away and seemingly untouched by time. But it's not just any weapon. It's a machine unlike anything humanity has ever created, pulsating with a mysterious, unnatural energy. It hums with power, a silent promise that the tides of war could be turned. But as the survivors approach, their eyes fall on something more troubling, a series of data terminals flickering to life, revealing a chilling truth. The weapon isn't just a tool of destruction. It's a weapon of control, a device that can manipulate minds, bending its users to its will. It was built not to defend humanity but to give one person, one leader, the ability to unite the fractured remnants of Earth under a single banner. But it came at a price. Those who wielded it were corrupted by its power, their minds twisted into something unrecognizable. The survivors reel at the revelation. They had come here to fight back, to reclaim what was lost, but this weapon, now in their hands, could change everything. Their hope is dashed as they realize the dark truth. In their desperation to survive, they've stumbled upon a force that might not only secure their future but destroy their very humanity. The group is at a crossroads. The choice is clear: use the weapon and risk losing everything they fought for, or destroy it and remain at the mercy of their enemies. The stakes have never been higher. There's no turning back now. The conflict has evolved from a fight for survival into a war for the soul of humanity itself. The air crackles with tension as the survivors stand before the weapon, its pulse now a deafening hum that reverberates through their very bones. The alien forces are closing in, their relentless assault upon the military base unstoppable. The survivors, battered and on the edge of collapse, are out of time. The choice they had dreaded, the one that has haunted them since the weapon's true nature was revealed, must be made now. Outside, the sound of alien warships fills the sky, their engines roaring like thunder as they prepare to descend. The group knows it's only a matter of moments before they are overwhelmed. But standing before the weapon, the weight of their decision grows unbearable. To use it would grant them unimaginable power, a power capable of wiping out the invaders. But the cost is clear. Whoever controls it risks losing their humanity, being consumed by its dark influence. As the door to the chamber shudders under the assault, the leader steps forward, their hand trembling over the weapon's core. The others watch in silence, fear and hope tangled in their eyes. Some want to use the weapon, desperate to end the war and reclaim what they've lost. Others, however, hesitate, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what they're about to unleash. The internal battle is just as fierce as the external one. Then, with a final, deafening crash, the alien forces breach the base's outer defenses, flooding the chamber. The leader, torn between the fear of losing everything and the need to survive, makes their decision. They activate the weapon. A blinding surge of energy erupts from the device, cascading through the room and tearing through the walls. The survivors shield their eyes, the overwhelming light blinding them as the weapon's power surges through them all. For a brief moment, it feels as though the entire world has been torn apart. The alien forces, caught in the blast, begin to falter. Their ships stall mid-air, their troops frozen in place as the weapon's energy disrupts their control. Victory seems within reach. But as the weapon's pulse intensifies, the leader's grip tightens around the controls. The power surges within them, and they feel the corruption begin to take hold. The line between savior and destroyer is thin, and the weight of it all presses down on their soul. The stakes have never been higher. Every moment feels like the last as the weapon's influence grows stronger. The survivors must now fight not just for survival, but for the future of humanity. Will they emerge victorious, or will the very thing they've unleashed become the force that destroys them all? The silence that follows the weapon's activation is deafening. The survivors, still reeling from the overwhelming surge of energy, blink against the fading brightness that lingers in the air. The alien forces, once unstoppable, are now paralyzed, their ships falling from the sky and their troops frozen in place. The weapon's pulse ripples through the battlefield, rendering their advanced technology useless, scattering the invaders in disarray. Victory is within reach, but it comes at a cost that none of them fully understand. As the survivors regroup, they realize the weapon's power has not only decimated their enemies, but left its mark on them as well. The leader stands at the center of the chamber, their body trembling with the aftershock of the weapon's energy. The air around them hums, charged with a strange, oppressive force. For a moment, they are consumed by the overwhelming temptation to wield the weapon's power fully, to finish what was started and ensure humanity's survival for good. But deep within, they know the price. The weapon's dark influence is growing stronger, feeding off their desperation. The survivors move cautiously, watching their leader, who struggles against the pull of the device's power. It's clear that the weapon's control over them is not just physical, it's mental, pulling at the very core of their being. The leader's gaze drifts toward the weapon, but then, with a great effort, they step away, pushing the temptation aside. There's no turning back from what has been done, but they cannot allow the weapon to define them, not after everything humanity has already lost. The alien forces are defeated, their ships crashing into the earth, their remaining troops scattered or disabled. The survivors are left in stunned silence, their bodies bruised and bloodied, but alive. They have won, but the victory feels hollow. The world outside is still scarred, the planet's ecosystems shattered, and humanity's future uncertain. The weapon has stopped the invasion, but at what cost? The power that saved them could very well be the force that destroys them in the end. In the aftermath, as the survivors begin to pick up the pieces of their shattered world, they find a strange sense of unity. The weapon's destructive power may have been the catalyst for their victory, but it is their humanity, their will to survive, that will rebuild what has been lost. It's not the weapon that will shape their future, it's their choices, the lessons they've learned through sacrifice and struggle. They realize now that survival isn't just about defeating the enemy, it's about holding on to what makes them human. The leader, exhausted and scarred, looks out across the ruins of the base. The weight of their decisions lingers heavily, but there is a flicker of hope. The weapon is destroyed, its influence neutralized, but the road to rebuilding is long. They know it won't be easy, but they also know they're not alone anymore. The group, now united by their shared journey and the harrowing choices they've made, is ready to begin anew. As the sun begins to rise, casting a pale light over the wreckage, the survivors step out into the world, uncertain of what lies ahead, but resolute in their belief that humanity will endure. The siege may be over, but the fight for the future has just begun. As the survivors stand amidst the ruins of the once thriving base, a sense of reluctant peace begins to settle over them. The immediate battle is over, and the threat of the alien invaders has been eradicated, for now. The weapon that once threatened to destroy them all has been destroyed, its dark influence erased, but the scars it left on their hearts remain. The air is thick with the weight of their survival and the knowledge that this victory, while hard-earned, is not the end of their struggle. The world outside is still broken. Cities lie in ruins, ecosystems are in disarray, and humanity is scattered, divided by years of conflict and isolation. But there is something new in the air, something faint but undeniable: hope. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, the survivors understand that it's not the weapon that will save them, it's the choices they make, the strength they find within themselves to rebuild, and the unity they choose to forge in the face of adversity. The leader looks out over the horizon, where the first rays of dawn break through the thick clouds of smoke. The battle may be over, but the war for humanity's future is just beginning. They know it won't be easy. The planet's resources are depleted, society has fractured beyond recognition, and the scars of war are deep. But for the first time, they believe in the possibility of a future, one where humanity can rebuild, recover, and rise again. Yet, as they stand together, a strange unease lingers. A faint whisper in the back of their minds, a feeling that the fight they just won was only a small piece of a much larger puzzle. They know the alien forces were not acting alone. Who were they working for? What did they truly want with Earth? And more importantly, what other threats lie beyond the stars, waiting for humanity to rebuild itself only to crush it again? The leader turns to face the group, their eyes determined but filled with questions. This is just the beginning, they say. We have won today, but the universe is vast. We cannot rest yet. There are more enemies out there. And we will face them, together. As the survivors prepare to leave the base and step back into the unknown, a flicker of movement catches their attention. A ship, far in the distance, rises from the wreckage, not one of the alien invaders but something different. It moves with purpose, its silhouette unmistakable against the darkening sky. Is it a remnant of the invaders, or something new, something more dangerous? The survivors exchange wary glances. The war may be over, but the fight for Earth's survival is far from finished. As the camera pans out, the haunting question lingers: is humanity truly safe, or has the real battle just begun? If you're curious to see what happens next, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and stay tuned for more.